Have you ever glanced into the mirror and seen a stranger staring back at you? Not someone else, but a tired, slower version of who you once were. Yet there's a 74-year-old who, after just 3 months, made his doctor exclaim in astonishment, "I can't believe it. You're actually getting younger." What happened? And how can you achieve the same remarkable change right at home, without spending much money or time? If you're ready to rediscover the vibrant energy of your younger days, gently tap the subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because what you're about to learn could mark a true turning point in your health journey. And if you've ever felt your body slowing down or declining, please leave the number 1 in the comments below. Let me know you're still here, joining me on this path toward rejuvenating the body and healing the soul. Do you still remember the last time you truly felt strong and vibrant? Maybe it was a quiet morning a few years ago when you stepped into your garden and felt the gentle warmth of sunlight on your shoulders. Your feet felt firm and steady beneath you, and even a short walk brought a joyful rhythm to your heart. But slowly, quietly, time slipped by. The chair in the corner became more familiar, imprinted deeply with your shape. Your legs, those faithful companions who once took you everywhere, began quietly creaking, whispering small protests whenever you moved. Simple tasks like going to the market or preparing a family meal gradually turned into exhausting tests of strength. People often say, "That's just aging. Accept it." But I believe, and I hope you do too, that your true age isn't measured by numbers. It's measured by how deeply you still yearn to live, by the desire to step outside once again and feel the breeze gently touch your skin. I once had the privilege of meeting a dear friend named Mr. An, a gentleman of 74 who lives by the riverside. One day he told me something softly, almost casually, as if sharing a little secret. One morning, I woke up and gazed out the window, and suddenly I realized it had been far too long since I heard birds singing. Not because the birds stopped, but because my ears and my heart were no longer open. That day he decided to do something small, just a gentle walk around his garden. The next morning he stretched a little further, gently raising his arms to the sky. A week later he borrowed an old bicycle from his grandson and slowly pedaled through his neighborhood, breathing in life again. 3 months later, with a radiant smile, he shared, "I didn't become magically younger like in the movies, but I felt as though I'd finally come back home, to myself. And I understood clearly that the journey of reclaiming youthfulness doesn't happen through magic, but rather through small steps taken at just the right moment." Today, my dear friends, I warmly invite you to begin a new journey with me. No rush, no pressure, simply one gentle step at a time, day after day, allowing us to rediscover something incredibly precious. That wonderful feeling of strength, freedom, and the ability to truly love once more. If my words have gently touched your heart, please offer yourself this simple gift. Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on the small yet powerful insights that could transform your life. And if you're still here, please leave a small note below, or simply comment, "I'm still here," so I know I'm not speaking alone. 1. Good sleep, the miracle of restoration. Have you ever spent nights tossing and turning, not because of something important, but simply because sleep wouldn't come? Your eyes gently close, lights are softly off, yet your thoughts drift endlessly along unnamed paths. My dear friend Eleanor, a wonderful elderly woman I deeply admire, once softly told me, "I'm not afraid of long nights. I'm only afraid of those nights when I can't find a single moment of restful sleep." Eleanor lives in a cozy little cottage nestled among old maple trees in a quiet Devon suburb. The calmer the night became, the more restless her sleep seemed to grow. After months of sleepless nights, Eleanor found herself forgetting simple things, losing track of days, misplacing items, confusing morning and afternoon. Her body felt drained, her mood often irritable, as if each sleepless night silently stole away a piece of her vitality. The root of Eleanor's troubles wasn't complicated. She often enjoyed black tea after dinner, watched late-night news just for background noise, and left the hallway, lights softly glowing through her partially open door. These seemingly harmless habits quietly prevented her body from entering deep rest. Her granddaughter Anna gently suggested one day, "Grandma, how about we create a little corner that's just right for sleeping?" They began with simple, soothing changes, replacing black tea with warm honey water, switching the nightly news to calming instrumental music, turning off the hallway lights earlier, and adding a few comforting drops of lavender oil to her pillow. Less than a week later, Eleanor said something that brought tears of joy to everyone at home. "Last night I dreamed I was walking barefoot on soft grass, and when I woke up, I still felt so light." From that day on, Eleanor nurtured her sleep like tending a precious flower. She rediscovered old favorite books before bedtime and began writing small notes of gratitude each evening. These gentle acts not only eased her into restful sleep, but also gave her a sense of peace, as though every night became a loving farewell to yesterday, preparing her heart for the next morning's smile. A quiet miracle happened. Eleanor's health gradually improved. She no longer hesitated to stroll down the street to the market, nor did she struggle with remembering the steps to her family's traditional soup recipe. Her face regained its glow, but even more importantly, Eleanor rediscovered the true feeling of living, not merely existing. If you wake each morning feeling heavy, eyes tired, and soul weary, please don't assume it's simply an inevitable part of aging. Tonight, perhaps take a small step. Turn off the lights a bit sooner, choose a gentle melody, and allow both your body and mind to find comfort. Sleep is not just something we do. It's a beautiful gift, and every one of you, my dear friends, deserves that gift fully, every night. 2. Don't just sit still. The secret to staying independent. Beside Mildred's window, there stood a cozy dark brown armchair. It was her favorite spot, a place where each morning she read the newspaper, where afternoons were spent sipping tea, and where each evening she quietly watched the sun dip slowly behind the rooftops of her small town, Willowdale. At first, this corner felt welcoming and warm, but gradually, without noticing, Mildred found herself sitting there all day long. "I never realized how long I'd been sitting," she confessed softly, her smile gentle as a morning breeze. "Until one day, it took nearly 5 minutes just to stand up." Most of us don't notice when sitting becomes our routine, but when standing up grows difficult, when steps become slow and cautious, and the stairs cause your heart to pound, it isn't just the age speaking, it's the quiet consequence of sitting too much. We often think of sitting as restful, as safe, yet sitting too long weakens our muscles, reduces blood circulation, stiffens joints, and perhaps most importantly, slowly steals away our body's ability to respond to subtle movements. This is why many older friends find themselves prone to falls, feeling unsteady or afraid of sudden movements. Fortunately, Mildred had Lucy, her granddaughter, studying physical therapy. Lucy never insisted, never criticized. Each morning, she simply whispered gently, "Grandma, could you stand with me just for a moment? Just a few steps. We'll water the plants and sit again if you like." They began with simple 3-minute strolls inside the house, around the dining table, touching the edge of the sofa, standing up and sitting down twice, then applauding softly, celebrating the small victories together. After just 1 week, Mildred found herself taking out the trash alone. 3 weeks later, she climbed the old wooden staircase to the little room filled with books, a place she once thought she'd never visit again. With a newfound joy in her voice, Mildred told me, "I might not travel far, but at least I can move around my own home without feeling exhausted." Freedom, it turns out, means walking when you want, reaching for your favorite book without asking for help, or simply stepping outside to breathe the scent of freshly cut grass. If you find yourself sitting more often than walking, please don't worry. Just try standing up gently every 45 minutes. Stretch your arms, rotate your wrists, walk once around your dining table. Even standing to place your hand lightly against the doorway can be a beautiful beginning. No heavy exercises needed, no special equipment required, just simple movements, gentle, kind, consistent. Because each small step you take today becomes a foundation stone for your independence tomorrow. So please don't remain seated if you still dream of going where your heart desires and living exactly as you wish. 3. Welcome the sunlight, energy from nature. There's something remarkable I've witnessed. Just 5 quiet minutes spent stepping onto the front porch and breathing in the morning sunlight was enough to completely transform the spirit of my elderly friend Martha. Martha is 76, living alone in a modest home on the outskirts of Brighton. She was once an energetic and lively woman, but after losing her husband, she gradually withdrew. Her house grew silent, curtains remained closed, and sunlight, a once familiar friend, slowly disappeared from her room. "I don't remember the last time I truly saw the sun," she whispered softly. Everything felt cloudy, tired, and cold. As we age, our bodies struggle to produce vitamin D as efficiently as they once did. Quietly, a lack of natural sunlight can lead to weakened bones, lingering aches, restless sleep, and even unexplained sadness. But often the real reason isn't illness. It's simply the habit of living behind closed doors, especially for those who live alone or rarely venture outside. Closed windows, tightly drawn curtains, and artificial lights gradually replace the gentle warmth of sunlight, something that could nourish both body and soul. Thankfully, one day, Martha's granddaughter Emily came to visit. Without saying much, Emily simply opened the front door wide, guiding Martha gently to the porch, placing a warm cup of tea in her wrinkled hands. That morning's sunlight felt soft as silk, filtering gently through the leaves and resting lightly on Martha's hands shaped tenderly by time. "I don't remember how good the tea tasted," Martha later recalled, "but I remember clearly that the sunlight made me feel alive again." Since then, each morning Martha spends a few precious minutes on her porch, quietly observing the plants, letting sunlight find her naturally. First for 3 minutes, then 5, then 10. Gradually, she even returned to tending the small garden behind her house, where she had planted lavender with her husband years ago. Sunlight doesn't merely change the color of our skin, it warms something deep within. After just a few weeks, Martha found herself sleeping better, feeling brighter, no longer experiencing that familiar emptiness each evening. If you find yourself living inside closed walls, please remember, sunlight is life's free and gentle gift, offered fresh every single day. This morning, perhaps simply open your window wide, or better yet, step outside for 5 minutes, stand quietly, breathe gently, and let sunlight softly brush your cheek. You might not notice a difference immediately, but little by little, your body will quietly thank you. And who knows, you may find yourself, just like Martha, wanting to plant new flowers again, or simply smiling softly at the sunlight dancing gently across your porch. 4 simple leg exercises, steps toward freedom. Helen lived in a quiet ground-floor apartment in the peaceful community of Rose Hill. Each morning, she sat quietly by the window, watching people pass by, softly remembering the days when she could breeze through the market effortlessly. "These days, even a few steps make me shaky," she once confessed in a voice as gentle as falling leaves. "I just wish I could walk a little farther without fearing a fall." The fear of losing balance or falling is familiar to many older adults. Gradually, we shrink our worlds, reluctant to step outside or climb stairs, simply because our legs no longer move as swiftly as they once did. Yet this weakening isn't purely due to aging. Often it comes quietly over time, as inactivity slowly drains strength from the muscles that once granted us freedom. And slowly we become dependent on handrails, on others, on cautiousness, until we lose sight of who we truly are. Luckily, Helen had an old friend, Charles, who at 82 still enjoyed his daily walks around the nearby lake. Seeing Helen quietly sitting day after day, Charles stopped by one morning, gently handing her a handwritten note. "Begin again with small steps. 3 minutes each day, stand up, sit down, and remember, your legs just need to be gently reminded. They'll respond." Helen considered this and decided to try. Each morning, she placed a chair in the middle of her living room, softly rested her hand on its back, and stood up, then sat down, just 3 times. The first week, her legs felt tired, but she persisted. The second week, she added gentle kicks, heel raises, and circled slowly around the chair once or twice. By the third week, she climbed 5 steps without holding the railing. Then, one gentle, sunny afternoon, she walked to the park nearby. It wasn't far, just a few hundred meters, but she did it alone, on legs she once doubted. She sat down quietly on the wooden bench, watching people stroll by, whispering softly. Freedom isn't about where we can go. It's about knowing we could get there, anytime we want. Our legs, often underestimated, are indeed the roots of independence. Each time we stand up, we quietly tell our bodies, I still choose to live my way. If today you feel your legs aren't as steady as they used to be, please don't feel discouraged. Instead, simply try this. Sit in a chair, gently stand up and sit back down 3 times. Hold onto a chair, lift one foot gently for a few seconds. When brushing your teeth, try standing on one foot just briefly, then switch sides. You don't need intense exercise. All you need is patience, kindness, and gentle persistence. Because legs aren't simply for walking, they're the key to holding on to freedom day after precious day. 5. Yoga and Tai Chi, the art of holistic rejuvenation. After many dedicated years as a teacher, Bernard, now 78, retired to live with his son in a quiet little town called Meadowbrook. Every morning he maintained the habit of stepping onto the porch, resting both hands on the wooden railing and taking a deep, refreshing breath. But over time, those breaths became shallower. His shoulders stiffened. The fingers that once gracefully handled chalk and blackboards trembled slightly as he buttoned his shirt. I used to think all I needed was quietness, Bernard shared softly, but it turned out my body needed to be heard as well. As we age, the body becomes less flexible. Muscles tighten, joints ache, backs become sore, necks stiffen, and shoulders no longer open as easily as they once did. Slowly, we begin to accept this as an inevitable truth. But is it truly the only path forward? In reality, many older adults don't stop moving because they're lazy. Instead, they stop because they're afraid of pain, of falling, or of doing something incorrectly. Add to that the misconception that yoga is only for the young, or Tai Chi looks beautiful, but I could never do it. These hesitations cause the body to close off, losing the gentle flow that once resembled a quiet stream, the stream of life. One day, Bernard's granddaughter Lily opened a video on her computer. On the screen was a group of older adults doing gentle chair yoga, their arms gracefully rising like birds welcoming the morning breeze. Lily smiled warmly at him. Would you like to try this, Grandpa? No kneeling, no sitting on the floor, just sitting straight and tall, exactly as you're doing right now. Bernard hesitated briefly, then gave it a try. At first, it was simply breathing in and out, gently raising and lowering his arms, each motion guided softly, almost like a lullaby. Soon, Lily introduced him to a few simple Tai Chi movements, slowly shifting weight, moving his arms fluidly like water flowing, tracing circles through the air. Surprisingly, Bernard began to feel his body recalling something deeply familiar: flexibility, grace, and the quiet vitality he had forgotten. Within a month, Bernard no longer needed to brace himself when standing up. After 3 months, he began greeting the sunrise each morning with gentle stretches, arms extending like wings, shoulders smoothly rotating, embracing the gentle breeze. I don't practice to regain the strength of youth, Bernard said with a soft smile. I practice so my body knows I'm still listening every single day. Yoga and Tai Chi don't require strength. They simply invite us to listen. They don't push. They gently encourage. They don't demand speed. They offer serenity. If you've ever thought, I can no longer bend or move like that, please start simply. Sit upright, rest your hands gently on your knees, take a deep breath, and smile softly. You don't need to practice like anyone else. Simply practice as yourself, respectfully and lovingly meeting your body exactly as it is today. Because within each gentle movement lies a quiet reminder. Our age may steadily climb upwards, but our spirit can always journey inward, toward peace, toward life. Conclusion: live slowly, deeply, and with purpose. When we were young, each step, each morning we woke up, brimmed with energy and endless possibility. But quietly, almost unnoticed, time passed. Our footsteps slowed, our bodies changed, and the house became still. Afternoons drifted quietly by, leaving behind only the gentle ticking of the clock and fading sunlight filtering softly through curtains. Yet perhaps it is precisely within these moments of stillness that we finally touch the essence of living. a gentle listening to our own bodies, a deeper connection with ourselves, and a profound realization that whispers gently, I am still alive, and I wish to live meaningfully. If you've accompanied me this far, I believe something inside you is gently stirring. Perhaps it's a memory of an early morning spent sipping tea alongside a beloved companion who's no longer here, or simply a quiet longing for the person you once were, someone who stepped boldly through life, who smiled without reason, and whose presence filled a room effortlessly. Today, we're not here to talk about fighting against time. Instead, we speak of the art of slow living, of living deeply and intentionally through simple habits that quietly renew our spirits. Together, we've explored 5 humble yet powerful gifts: a restful night's sleep, so our bodies can gently heal; gentle footsteps, to remind our legs of freedom; the soft warmth of morning sunlight, to ease the heaviness from our hearts; gentle movements, to keep our bodies supple, comfortable, and pain-free; and our breath, the bridge leading us back to peace. Nothing grand, nothing extraordinary, just small, gentle steps taken with love and respect for ourselves. There's something I've always believed deeply. Our bodies never truly abandon us. They are simply waiting for us to return, to touch gently, to listen carefully, and to begin again. Whether you're 60, 70, or 85 years old, today is still the very first day of the rest of your life. No one else can live for you. No one understands your aches, your burdens, your quiet moments of vulnerability more deeply than you. Yet at the same time, no one can heal you more powerfully than you. If you simply begin with one small action today, perhaps right after watching this video, you might stand up and gently walk around your room, open a window, letting sunlight gently touch your fingertips, or simply close your eyes, take a deep breath, and quietly say to your body, thank you for still being here with me. If the words I've shared today have gently touched your heart, please leave a comment below or consider sharing this video with your loved ones, those who are also quietly journeying through the gentle seasons of their lives. Don't forget to subscribe so each week we can continue sitting quietly together, sharing small, beautiful things that truly matter. Because I deeply believe that growing older isn't the end of our journey. It's simply the most radiant autumn of our souls. A season when golden leaves don't fall silently into darkness, but drift gently in sunlight, revealing all the quiet beauty they've patiently gathered from the passage of time. Thank you, dear friends, for listening and for still being here. A life message. To my dear and respected friend, time may slow your footsteps and gently turn your hair silver, but it can never dim the radiant light within your soul. Aging is not the closing chapter. Rather, it's the most beautiful one, where each day slows down just enough for us to truly recognize our own worth, to gently regain our strength, and to rediscover genuine happiness. A restful night's sleep, the gentle touch of morning sunlight on your fingertips, a simple, mindful movement each morning. These small acts are enough for your body to begin healing and for your heart to blossom once again. Please never think it's too late. It is never too late to start loving yourself gently, kindly, all over again. Because you, my dear friend, have always deserved to live with health, with freedom, and with beauty in your own unique and wonderful way.